Everyone, Alex here from Sun Dreams Farm, talking today about our Pioppino mushroom grow kits. Some people like to call them a willow Pioppino or a black poplar mushroom. Now when you first get your kit, you want to take the block out of the box, store it out of direct sunlight, anywhere at room temperature is great, mid 60s, low 70s. If you get into the upper 70s, you can start to see some heat stress, and below 60, things will slow down significantly. And much colder than that, you really won't see any growth. So when you first get your kit, it might look something like this, depending on where you got it from. If you got it directly from us, or if it's been sitting on a shelf somewhere for a little bit while. So that all those white spots, that's not mold, that's the mycelium of the Pioppino culture that's starting to actually grow right through this sawdust blend. So this is a hardwood sawdust blend in this thing. And each of those spots is slowly or quickly, depending on the speed temperature of your house, growing through this block. So once you get your block, keep it at room temperature for the first week or two, and you'll get to this stage of growth, which is that first stage that we're looking for that tells us it's time to cut the corner of this block. So you can see there's no more open spots of sawdust. It's a really white, really firm. So we're gonna take this, take a blade, and just nick a little corner, and go ahead and pull this open and make a nice little airspace on top of that. And that's actually, we're creating a little human space on top of this block where we're gonna be growing these mushrooms. If you want, if it makes you feel better, you can spray inside here as much as you want. It's really not that necessary, but if your house is really dry and you want to feel proactive, go ahead and do it. So about a week, maybe 2 weeks after that point, we'll be at this next stage where through the plastic, you can actually see a little tinge. It's easier because I have this cut. Those are little mushroom pins. Now those little pins on the Pioppino, they start kind of orange, and as they mature, they'll start to be more distinctly brown, like these ones over here. And when you can actually see those teeny tiny mushrooms forming on the top, then we want to do our next cut. So we're going to go from the surface of the block all the way up the top on one side, turn it around, and do the other side. That leaves this nice space on top that will keep humidity in, but this also allows enough airflow that oxygen's getting in there, and CO2 can get out, because these are actually exhaling CO2 just like humans do, or mammals. At this point, still keep it out of direct sunlight. 70s gets to be a little warm. They grow really, really fast. Their quality is better in the 60s, but you can do whatever works for you. If it's wintertime and it's really cold outside, you can leave it outside at night. Temperatures down to the 40s won't really damage it. They'll just slow really, really slow. And then during the day when it's warm, they'll have bursts of growth. Now about a week after that point, again, if it's really warm out, it might be several days, you'll start to see really distinct dime to nickel sized mushroom caps. Now these on this backside, you could harvest those now. They'll be really, really nice. They're going to get a little bit bigger, especially these ones in the front. But when you can see through the sides of your bag that they're getting to be this size, you're going to want to actually take your blade again, and right around the level of the top of this filter patch, just cut straight across. Allows even more airflow to get in. And you're just going to want to mist this with your spray bottle now about once or twice a day when you're walking by morning and night. Give it a good soaking on top. Get the plastic walls, more so than actually soaking the mushrooms themselves. You want to actually be getting that plastic wet. And then over the next several days, you will grow to this next stage, which is actually a little over mature for my taste. I should have picked these this morning, but I wanted to hold on to them for this video. You can see the veils on this side. That's the veil right there. It's not actually open yet, so that's good. But the ones on this side, those are actually open, and it's exposed those gills. That's what drops the spores. So these are actually mature enough. They're now dropping spores on my counter, which is not ideal. But yeah, so these are ready to harvest, and to harvest them, we're really just going to take a handful and they pull right off. And you got a nice big handful of mushrooms there. Now I'll do when I cook these, I'll trim that bottom bit of substrate that comes off, maybe about 2 fingers width, off the bottom. Chop the stems pretty fine and leave the caps whole and saute them, add them to ramen. They're great, crunchy, nutty, and delicious. So you got your first harvest. You can do a second harvest. Really don't recommend it in a house. You're not going to have great success. My best recommendation is take this block out of the bag, bury it in your garden, and lay straw, wood chips, something like that on top of it. And when the conditions are right outside, it will keep fruiting many times. But trying to control it inside, it's going to dry out and you're not going to have great success. But yeah, several pounds. You usually get about 2 pounds of Pioppinos on the first harvest. And if you're really patient, you could do the process again and get maybe another ½ pound of beautiful Pioppino mushrooms. Enjoy.